Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started. The Rock could send a 6'8" enforcer to cost Roman Reigns his tribal combat match against Solo Sikoa on tonight's edition of WWE Raw. The final boss has already teased his appearance for the first episode on Netflix. He could bring in Hikuleo to take down Roman and give Sikoa the upper hand. This could lead to a big reveal that he was the brains behind the revamped bloodline. Hikuleo was signed to WWE last year and is the son of WWE legend Haku and a brother to Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. He has long been rumored to join his siblings in the bloodline, but hasn't made an appearance yet. He might soon step into the spotlight, costing Roman Reigns and solidifying his role in the group as the People's Champion's enforcer. The Great One showed up at the Bad Blood 2024 Premium Live event right after the original Tribal Chief, and Cody Rhodes took out Jacob Fatu and Solo's team. He even made a throat-slash gesture toward the OTC, dropping some hints that he could be working with the Bloodline 2.0. Tonight on Raw, the 52-year-old could confirm this by sending in Hikuleo to help the street champion of the island. While he can send the Tongan for support, it won't be obvious right away that he's the one pulling the strings. The big reveal could come later, showing that the Attitude Era icon was actually in cahoots with the heel, acting as the true tribal chief and orchestrating everything that Roman Reigns and his original bloodline went through. We'll have to wait and see if everything pans out and Reigns loses his match. Right now, it's all just speculation. Let's sit back and see what happens. Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa could happen at WrestleMania 41. We might see this rivalry carry on to WrestleMania 41 if Reigns loses to the 31-year-old tonight. According to a recent report, he is set to take on the former NXT North American champion in a huge showdown at the biggest event of the year. Tonight's episode of Raw might just set the stage for some surprising developments, especially with the Brahma Bull hanging around. Will Solo snag a straightforward win? Or will the former undisputed WWE champion come out on top? Maybe The Rock steps in to throw a captivating curveball into the unfolding drama. Let's see what WWE has in store for fans. The crowd at the packed Alamodome roared with anticipation. Tribal combat was about to unfold, a match steeped in Samoan heritage and pride. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, stood in the center of the ring alongside his enforcer and cousin, Solo Sikoa. The two wore ceremonial Samoan attire, their bodies glistening with tribal oils under the spotlights. Across the ring, their opponents awaited, equally determined to make their mark in this unprecedented contest. But what the audience didn't know was that an uninvited force loomed in the shadows, a towering enforcer handpicked by none other than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson himself. For weeks, rumors had circulated about The Rock's involvement in tribal combat. Though he hadn't appeared in WWE in months, cryptic social media posts and subtle teases hinted that the Great One wasn't done with Roman's reign of dominance. The bloodline had fractured beyond repair, with Jey Uso leaving SmackDown and Jimmy Uso stirring chaos on Raw. The Rock had remained silent, letting Roman's arrogance fester. But behind the scenes, he was orchestrating his next move, one that would not only challenge Roman's claim as the head of the table, but shatter the remaining pieces of the bloodline entirely. Enter Kane, the Mountain Malai, a 6 feet 8 inches, 300-pound powerhouse hailing from the Samoan Islands. Though relatively unknown to WWE audiences, Kane had a reputation in the independent wrestling circuit for his devastating strength and intimidating presence. The Rock had been mentoring him for months, quietly preparing him for this exact moment. The bell rang, and the tribal combat match was underway. Roman and Solo wasted no time asserting their dominance, using their size and experience to overpower their opponents. Every punch, chop, and Samoan drop was met with deafening reactions from the crowd. The match was physical, brutal, and symbolic. Roman barked orders at Solo, demanding that he prove his loyalty and finish their opponents. Solo obliged, delivering a thunderous Samoan spike that left one opponent incapacitated. Roman smirked, standing tall as the tribal chief, seemingly invincible. But as Roman prepared to deliver his signature Superman punch to seal the victory, the lights in the arena flickered. A deep, Resonant voice echoed through the speakers. Do you smell what The Rock is cooking? The audience erupted into a frenzy as The Rock's music hit. Roman froze, his eyes darting toward the entrance ramp. The Titantron lit up with The Rock's iconic Brahma Bull logo. But instead of The Rock himself, out walked Kane Malai. The crowd gasped at the sheer size of the man. Towering at 6 feet 8 inches with an imposing physique, Kane exuded raw power and intensity. Dressed in a sleeveless black Samoan warrior's tunic, he marched to the ring with purpose, his expression cold and unyielding. Roman's smirk vanished. Solo, for the first time, looked uncertain. Who the hell is this? Michael Cole exclaimed on commentary. Pat McAfee chimed in. This must be The Rock's secret weapon. Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa are in for a world of hurt. Kane climbed into the ring, his presence alone enough to shift the energy in the arena. Roman, ever the strategist, stepped forward, trying to assert his dominance. You think you can just walk into my ring? Roman sneered. Kane didn't respond. Instead, he locked eyes with Solo. For a brief moment, Solo seemed conflicted, as though recognizing a kindred spirit. But Roman barked at Solo to attack. Solo hesitated for a split second too long. Kane exploded into action, grabbing Solo by the throat and hoisting him into the air for a devastating chokeslam. The impact shook the ring, leaving Solo motionless on the mat. Roman's rage boiled over. He lunged at Kane, throwing fists and elbows. But Kane absorbed the blows like a fortress. With a swift counter, Kane caught Roman in midair and slammed him with a spinebuster that left the tribal chief writhing in pain. As Roman struggled to get to his feet, the Titantron lit up again. This time, it was The Rock himself, live via satellite. Roman, The Rock began, shaking his head. You really thought you could claim the throne without any consequences? You turned your back on family, betrayed your brothers, and let your ego destroy everything our bloodline stands for. But tonight it all ends. The crowd erupted in cheers as The Rock continued. I've been watching Roman. I've been waiting. And now, I'm sending Kane Malai to remind you that the true head of the table doesn't take shortcuts, doesn't manipulate, and sure as hell doesn't abuse family. Roman, still on his knees, glared at the screen, defiant but visibly shaken. The Rock smirked. Kane, do your thing. With The Rock's command, Kane grabbed Roman by the neck, hoisting him up for a thunderous Samoan driver. The move left Roman lifeless in the ring, his aura of invincibility shattered. But Kane wasn't done. He turned his attention to Solo, who had begun to stir. Instead of attacking, Kane extended a hand to Solo, offering an alliance. The crowd held its breath as Solo looked at Kane, then at Roman, who was barely conscious. In a shocking turn of events, Solo took Kane's hand, solidifying his allegiance to The Rock's vision of the bloodline. As the referee counted Roman out, Kane and Solo stood tall in the ring, their alliance cemented. The audience was in disbelief. Roman Reigns, the once unshakable tribal chief, had been dethroned in the most humiliating way possible. Backstage, WWE officials scrambled to comprehend the ramifications. Paul Heyman, Roman's ever-loyal advisor, was seen frantically making phone calls, his face pale with fear. Meanwhile, The Rock's video feed returned. This is just the beginning, Roman, The Rock said with a grin. I'll see you at WrestleMania. The audience exploded at the tease, already envisioning the clash of titans that would inevitably follow. The tribal combat match ended not with victory, but with utter chaos, a fitting conclusion to a story of betrayal, pride, and redemption. With The Rock's enforcer Kane Malai now in the picture, and Solo Sikoa switching sides, Roman Reigns faced the most significant challenge of his reign. The message was clear. The Rock wasn't just reclaiming his legacy. He was building a new one, and Roman's empire would crumble beneath it.